I just want to show you some ways to get your rod unstuck if for some reason you slid it out and the little pieces slide back in and get stuck behind it inside other joints or something. Your rod won't fully extend, or say your little Lillian string isn't coming out when you first get your rod, or if it gets folded over and stuck inside another piece. I'm going to show you how to unstick that. First thing I do, I open up the butt cap of the rod, slide out all these main pieces, and sometimes if there's two pieces stuck inside each other, you can kind of see them stuck inside a bigger piece side by side. Now there's two ends to these pieces. One end usually has a little gold ring on it. It's nicely finished. That's what I refer to the tip end. And the butt end of each section is a little thicker than the tip end, and it's usually a little unfinished right here. That's your joint when you slide out the rods. It's important to know those things when you take it apart and put it back together. If you got some pieces that are stuck, you never want to try to pull them out the tip end. It'll just make them more stuck. You want to pull them out the butt end. So usually what I do is I find where the stuck pieces are. Say it's these two here. Pull the rest of it off. Keep those parts together. And then you try to pull those out that end. If they're sticking out, try to grab them, pull them out. If they're not sticking out, you want to get a paper clip or something else and just kind of push on the top to kind of push through the tip side. Push them out till you can grab them on the butt end of the section and pull them out. If your Lillian string's not showing, you want to get down to the smallest piece that's stuck. And usually what happens if the Lillian's not showing is that Lillian string somehow gets folded over. When it gets slid in to the next piece, you can kind of see that. And then it gets jammed when it comes out this other end. And the way I get that out, if the piece isn't sticking out the other end where you can grab it, is I get a paper clip and stick that down the joint, the front here, until it pushes it out enough that I can grab it here, slide it out. Now reassembling the rod, starting with the tip, you want to make sure that tip, that string, goes through the next piece nice and straight. So I'm just going to line it up here with this, slide it in straight. Slide it in straight. Just got to be careful when you slide that in, and slide it right on up in. You see it slides out here. Then you take the next piece, same thing, slide that string, and you want to go from the smallest piece to the next smallest piece on up to the last big piece. And so each one, just make sure that Lillian string slides in there nice and straight and comes out the other end. And you notice that this is the tip end of this section, this is the butt end of this section. When I slide it into the next section, I want to slide the tip end into the butt end. You never want to get to where the tip ends won't slide into each other. And if you slide butt end into butt end, you're going to get stuck. So just remember, tip end of the smallest piece into the butt end of the next piece. So we're just going to slide these in there. I'm kind of sliding them in together. I got a few of them that are these ones are all together already, so I'm not going to take them apart. But I'll kind of slide back the smaller one and hold them together and slide that over this one here. Keep that Lillian nice and straight, make sure it comes out the other end. And then slide it up into your rod, and to keep the lilium from folding over and getting jammed on this piece, just kind of slide the smaller piece back and then hold it there like that, and that keeps your lilium inside that. Slide it into the rod, the butt of the rod, and then put your butt cap on, put your tip cap back on, and you should be back in business. Just make sure that lilium comes out still. Anyway, hopefully this helps some of you when I talk you through it on the phone. Sometimes it's really hard to describe, and hopefully this video will make that a much easier process.